Hello everyone, this is Wandering Land.
This time I thought I would take you along as I walk through the 7 kilometers of the Turia, starting at the City of Arts and Sciences and ending at Biopark, and have a look at its many bridges. The topic I have in mind for this video is that of connections, which is what bridges are all about. I've been missing my family and friends from back home a lot lately, and I was thinking that even though we are far away, I will always make an effort to keep a bridge between us and stay in touch and share things with them so that we are always connected no matter the distance. You know, the Turia was not always the green space it now is. It was actually a river. I heard several people still calling it the river, and I was really confused at first because they mentioned this river that goes across the city center and I didn't remember seeing any. The story of Turia is actually a rather tragic story. In 1957 there was a great flood in Valencia where many people died and that damaged the city tremendously. So, to prevent that from happening ever again, Spain's government and Valencia's authorities decided that the Turia could not keep traversing the center of Valencia, as it posed a high risk of new floods. That's why in 1958 it is decided to detour the river and turn the riverbed into an urban freeway. Later on, the former riverbed was claimed by the citizens as an urban garden for the city, and it was finally inaugurated in 1986. This day the riverbed comes alive as a green space, with dozens of sports fields, athletics tracks, and a cycle path. And bridges, many bridges going across. Following Turia Gardens, you will find no less than 17 bridges, both old and new. As I show you each bridge, I will tell you about their history and construction details, and I will read you some opinions on their architecture from various articles whose links you can find in the description. Now let me show you the Turia and its many bridges. The first one is Puente de l'Assut de l'Or, also known as Hand Bridge, Sail Bridge or Harp Bridge. It was designed by the Valencian civil architect and engineer Santiago Calatrava. The bridge was finalized completely in December 2008. The bridge board is 180 meters long by 34 meters wide and covers a 155-meter opening. It is composed of a core and ribs on both sides. In total, 72 ribs of 21 tons of weight each are necessary to sustain the bridge. The bridge mast of 125 meters high is the highest point in the city. It is actually 127 meters including the lightning rod at its top. Then we have Puente de Monte Olivete. This is a recent work of Santiago Calatrava and forms part of the architecture of Ciudad de las Artes y las Ciencias. Below the bridge, in the riverbed of Turia, the buildings that conform the City of Arts and Sciences are located. To the left, looking north, we can find Palau de les Arts, Reina Sofía. To its right, we can encounter L'Hemisphérique and Science Museum, Príncipe Felipe. Its eastern part connects with Glorieta de Europa, and its western part falls into Avenida del Instituto Obrero de Valencia. The third bridge is Puente del Reino. This bridge is more commonly known by Valencians as the Bridge of the Gargoyles, as there are 4 gargoyles in its 4 corners. They were made by Valencian sculptor Juan Martí and they represent the fallen angel. It is the longest bridge of the city with 220 meters long, and it connects Avenida del Antiguo Reino de Valencia with Avenida Francia. It goes through Gulliver Park, located in Turia. You can see some of the attractions in this extract from my video of the Grand Firan. Then we have Puente del Ángel Custodio. The bridge of Ángel Custodio is the work of Arturo Piera, and it was constructed last century. The last extension was made on 1967. This bridge ends in Paseo de la Alameda, while at west it starts in Avenida Peris y Valero, that at the same time crosses Avenida del Reino de Valencia. Then we have Puente de Aragón. No, not that Aragón. I wish, but no, it's Aragón. It is the work of engineers Arturo Monfort, José Burguera, and Gabriel Lleida. It owes its name to the old Aragón station, now missing. The style of this bridge is rationalist. It possesses 6 arches of 25 meters each, its longitude is 167 meters and its width is 30 meters, with a central hedge and side roads. The great iron columns were used to sustain the tram's cables and the lights. It has 4 sculptures of stone from the Valencian José Terencio Farré, dedicated to wisdom, agriculture, fishing, and to Valencia. After that we have Puente del Mar. The sea bridge was built in 1591, after flooding destroyed the original wooden bridge. Located along the river's centuries-old route linking the city with the port, the bridge comprises 10 arches spanning more than 15 meters, and it's adorned with images of the Virgin and Saint Pascual and surrounded by palm trees. After more than 3 centuries, the bridge was closed to traffic in 1933 and became a pedestrian bridge with a magnificent access staircase built by architect Javier Gerlich. Then we have Puente de las Flores. This bridge was built in 2002 to replace a temporary pontoon constructed to meet the demands of the city's traffic, and is adorned by flowers which are updated several times a year. I mean, at least it's usually adorned by flowers. Unfortunately, there were no flowers at all the day I had to film. I don't know why exactly, but I can show you some footage that I have from my very first day in Valencia, and there you will be able to see these wonderful flowers. As you can see, I was super tired that day. I had just arrived, and this was one of the first times that I walked around the city. The bridge joins the street with the Citadel to Paseo de la Alameda. It's usually decorated with about 25,000 beautiful flowers of all colors, which vary throughout the seasons. Next, we have Puente de la Exposición, another one of the bridges designed by Santiago Calatrava. This bridge is popularly known as La Peineta, which is an ornamental comb for its unique shape. It represents one of Valencia's many elements of contemporary architecture. Together with Puente de las Artes and Puente del Reino, represents the height of modernity in the face of tradition. With its sloped arch and 4 lanes of traffic, it's a faithful representation of what Calatrava strives for with all his projects, a living work relating to each of its parts. He differentiates it from the cement bridge of the metro station that supports it, thereby transmitting forces in a natural way. It is a harmonious construction that combines a work of engineering with impressive aesthetics. The bridge is built in high tensile steel and is set on one single span, with a 14-meter high arch running from one end to the other. It is named after a former bridge on that site that led to the area of the regional exhibition in 1909. This is where I came to see the fireworks spectacle during La Grande Nit. You can see the video about it in the link. Now we have Puente del Real. This 16th century bridge holds images of both Saint Vincent Martyr and Saint Vincent Ferrer. This Gothic bridge was also built after the 1517 flood destroyed the old wooden bridge. Its construction began in 1595 with ashlars and keystones from the cemetery of the nearby Santo Domingo convent and was concluded 3 years later. It was inaugurated to celebrate the wedding of King Philip III of Spain to Queen Margarita, but it seemingly does not take its name Real from royal, but from Rahal, an Arabic word that means orchard or garden. The bridge connected the Palacio del Real to the walled city. The palace itself was demolished in the early 19th century by the Valencian people so that Napoleon troops could not place their guns up there to bomb the city. The former palace's gardens are still known as Jardines del Real or Viveros. The bridge was widened in 1964 to increase traffic flow, thereby losing its human scale. After that we have Puente de la Trinidad. Opposite the Museum of Fine Arts, this is the oldest of the city bridges. This majestic Gothic-style bridge was built around the 14th century by Pedro Viñes on the remnants of a Moorish bridge made of wood, and was again rebuilt after the flood of 1517.
So these stairs are from the 15th century. And of course I saw the sign after getting down.
It is supported by 10 slightly pointed arches with buttresses and cutwaters and displays the statues of San Luis Beltrán and Santo Tomás de Villanueva, made by the famous Italian sculptor Ponsarelli, which were originally on the San Jose Bridge. Then we have Pont de Fusta. The original runway was constructed in wood in the same location as today's bridge, and that is why it took the name in Valenciano of Pont de Fusta, which literally means bridge of wood. The runway was rebuilt in a slender shape with white concrete and iron, but it kept the original name. And you can see now that the exterior of the pedestrian crossing is covered in wood. You might wonder about the sphinxes. In Greek mythology, the sphinx was a creature of destruction and bad luck, represented with the face of a woman, the body of a lion, and the wings of a bird. In the case of these Valencian sphinxes, they are dressed in the fashion of the era, where you can observe a veil on their heads getting to their shoulders and what seems to be a crossed ribbon around their neck. Although the author and date of creation of these monuments is unknown, it is known that during the 18th century it was a trend to ornament gardens with sphinxes statues dressed in attires of the era. So it is thought that they might have originally belonged to a private collection and were placed in a garden of some small palace in the city. What really annoys me is that most of the time they suffer from vandal attacks. You can even see that one of them was vandalized during the day of filming. Why? Why do you have to do that? Then we have Puente de Serranos. The name of the bridge and of the gateway in the city walls known as Las Torres de Serranos comes from the fact that they provided access for people arriving in the city from the district of La Serranía, who were known as Serranos. It was built in 1518 after its predecessor was swept away in the previous year's flood. The new stone bridge, which could withstand the mighty Turia, was built under the direction of stonemason Juan Bautista Corbera, on 9 segmental arches with a breakwater, cutwaters, and parapets. With its beautiful architecture and its intricate ornamentation that went beyond mere defenses, this gateway was the symbol of Valencia's power. At its other end, which joins the city to the Almunia and Xerea districts, lying outside of the city walls, the bridge has managed to remain beautiful and intact despite the regular onslaughts of the river. Then we have Puente de San José. The first records of this bridge date back to 1486. Consisting of 13 arches, it once displayed 2 valuable Ponsarelli sculptures that were made for the bridge in the 18th century, which have now been replaced and can be found on the Puente de la Trinidad. The flood of 1517 destroyed much of the original structure, which was made of wood, and what we see today are the modifications carried out at the beginning of the 17th century, using new materials, masonry, and even 3 segmental arches. After that we have Puente de las Artes. Located opposite the Museum of Modern Art of Valencia, IBAM, the bridge was constructed in the late 20th century, when the dry riverbed had already been turned into the city's biggest park. It has the unusual feature of uniting 2 old quarters and, with its state-of-the-art engineering, it provides a touch of modernity in contrast to the nearby ancient bridges with their great ashlars. Yet its 2 20-meter boards supported transversally on a single pillar do not detract from the historical Puente de San José nearby. Afterwards we have Puente de Ademuz. The Bridge of Ademuz, or Bridge of the Valencian Glories, was built in 1958 by the engineer Carlos Fernández Casado. It was constructed in concrete with iron protections. It is sustained by cylindrical pillars of concrete. It has 2 directions with 2 lanes each, separated by a central hedge. It is located quite near to the Botanical Garden and the Hesperides Garden. This may not be one of the most beautiful bridges, but it fulfills its job of dealing with a lot of traffic. Now we have Puente del Campanar. It was constructed in the 20th century and fulfills its function of controlling and separating the traffic of the city in this zone. To its north we can find Mercado de Campanar, a modern and relatively new shopping mall with a variety of stores and cinemas that project movies in their original languages, something that's not so easy to find in Spain. It connects on the south with Avenida Pérez Galdós. On this side, parallel to Campanar Bridge, we can find Paseo de la Pechina. And finally, we have Puente del 9 de Octubre. Constructed between 1986 and 1989 by the not-so-renowned but promising Valencian architect Santiago Calatrava. It stands out by the originality of its shape and by the 4 abstract sculptures that adorn its corners. It is without a doubt the work of an incipient artist that has not found yet the style that would make him famous later on and that finds its peak in the City of Arts and Sciences. It has in each lateral extreme a pedestrian crossing, and it is illuminated by a double central line of lamps and a series of lights located on the floor and protected by a metal carcass. It receives its name in commemoration of the day in which King Jaime I, El Conquistador, entered the city of Valencia after the Maslin capitulation of the year 1238. October 9th is the celebration of the Comunidad Autónoma Valenciana. Please let me know about you in the comments. Do you have a metaphorical bridge between you and someone you care about? Have you perhaps crossed a cool literal bridge you would like to tell me about? Do you think that there's something waiting for all of us when we cross to the other side of this life? And on a lighter note, have you ever walked across the Turia Gardens? Does your hometown have a similar type of green space?
So that is all for my trip through the Turia and all its bridges. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button to let me know. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you would like to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Until next time!